was a young man who made a decision that broke his family's heart. He demanded his share and walked away from home and wasted everything he had. Bad choices, bad company, empty promises. Eventually he reached a point that many of us know quite well. No money, no dignity, no strength left. So he decided to return home, not with confidence but with fear. He rehearsed his apology again and again. He didn't expect to be welcomed back, but only be tolerated. But something unexpected happened. Before he could even finish his apology, his father saw him from a distance, and instead of anger, the father ran. No questions asked, no test, no lecture, only an embrace. And maybe you've guessed by now. This is the story Jesus tells us of the Prodigal Son. And Lent begins exactly with this, not with God testing us, but with God running towards us. Lent is not a test we pass, it is a return we are invited to make again and again. As Lent begins, many Catholics feel a familiar pressure. What am I giving up this year? Will I be strong enough? What if I fail again? Somewhere along the way, Lent starts to feel like a test we are afraid to fail. A spiritual exam where God is watching our performance. But what if Lent was never meant to be a test? What if Lent is actually an invitation, a fresh start? Not a season to prove ourselves to God, but a season to return back to Him. In the Bible, God never began a new season by demanding perfection from His people. He begins by calling people back. Through the prophet Joel, God says, "Return to me with all your heart." Notice what God does not say. He does not say, "Come back to me once you've fixed yourself." He does not say, "Come back once you've succeeded." He simply says, "Return." Think about real life. When your phone battery runs low, you do not throw the phone away, you plug it in to charge. When you miss a few days at a gym, the trainer doesn't say never come back again. You simply start again. Lent is God saying the same thing to us. Come back, plug back in. That is why the church begins Lent with ashes, not as a sign of failure, but as a reminder that God meets us exactly where we are. Many of us carry memories of past Lents. We gave up something, sugar, social media, anger. We struggled and quietly slipped back into old habits. And so we tell ourselves, "I'm bad at Lent. I never get it right." But the church never taught us Lent is about being flawless. The Catechism reminds us that conversion is ongoing, not instant. Think about learning any new skill. Driving a car, cooking, parenting. You don't master it in one attempt. You learn by trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Failing does not cancel Lent, but returning back is Lent. The church gives us three simple pillars: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. These are not goals in themselves, they are tools. Fasting helps us notice what controls us. Prayer helps us slow down and listen again. And almsgiving turns our focus outwards. It's like coming back to the route when you take a wrong turn while driving. You do not just abandon the journey, but you turn and you take the right direction. Instead of asking, "What am I giving up this Lent?" try asking, "Lord, what are you inviting me into?" Maybe it's 5 minutes of prayer before checking our phone every morning. Maybe it's returning back to confession after a long gap. Maybe it's choosing patience at work or even at home. Maybe it's letting go of guilt and allowing yourself to begin again. Lent does not need dramatic resolutions. It needs honest hearts. If you begin this Lent feeling tired, distracted, or unsure, that does not disqualify you. That is exactly where God begins. Lent is not a test to pass. It is a road back home. And it is the grace of God that carries us every step of the way. Let us begin again. not with fear, but with trust. Amen. If this reflection has touched you, I invite you humbly to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon, leave a comment, because all of this will help this message to reach more people. Until the next time, with God, we rejoice.